So many people, so many human minds say or express their concern over this speaker and how boring and repetitive and dull and non-interesting and non-informative these conversations are. And the quality of the mind of the speaker says, you can't catch me with that one. If there's a definition of what these videos are about, they are stale, they are meaningless, they are purposeless. But the purpose behind them counteracts the purposeless, and the purposeless counteracts the purpose behind them. Now your mind won't understand that because that's the whole object of this. These continual, irritating non-methods, non-practices, non-directed at me, the person, ego stance. Just words that nullifies your mind into the most purest state of boredom. Because this speaker, or the person that this I was, had no interest in religion, had no interest in anything that was informative, only interested in discovering what it could find about itself. Through a world that was suspect. And we all know that this world is suspect. Now, we're not speaking about the whole world, we're speaking about your individual world. Is your individual world suspect? Has this world answered every question to your mind clearly, concisely? Has it told you the truth about all of this that it deals with every day? No. When you attach to something, when you attach to religion, when you attach to spirituality, when you attach to Christ, when you attach to Buddha, when you attach to Brahman, these are all names that you're attaching to. These are all methods and practices. These are all the individual one that you speak about, Christ. It's about Christ's experiences that you're attached to. And then you have a desire to follow something that is not pertinent for you. I will give you some information. One thing you have to know is that you are here on your own. You are 100% here on your own. With all these aids, these tools, these devices to either put you off or take you home. And these devices and tools are there for a great purpose because you have two choices. When you eliminate both these choices, you're eliminating both qualities of mind, positive, negative, good, bad, happy, sad. You're eliminating all qualities of mind. Therefore, you become bored. So the object of the speaker is not to say, follow spirituality, follow Buddhism, follow Upanishads, follow Vedantas. They're all worthy once you realize your truth, not before you realize your truth. Never before you realize your truth. Some are fortunate, some are born with the truth, and they don't really, they're not really caught by this mind, this conditioned social economic mind, this inherited follow the rules mind. But you won't see them on YouTube. You won't see them in a job. They're up in some cave. They're up in some croft in the middle of the rural land of wherever land it is you abide by. They're not interested. They're not interested in money. They're not interested in participating. They're not interested in economies and worlds and stuff like that. They're totally over the hurdle of boredom. They have seen through boredom. And this is the only job of the speaker, is to get you so bored that you face up to boredom. You'll not find it through spirituality. You'll not find it through religion. You'll not find it through science. You'll not find it through anything external, including your body, including your sensory tastes, your emotional experiences. You'll not find it. You'll only find it when mind has been totally taken out of the question. Therefore, when mind is taken totally out of the question, you become still and bored. That's the name you give it. That's the quality in the name that mind gives it, bored. And mind associates with bored as, I have to do something. And mind's back in the game. I'm in. Count me in. Deal me in. I'm back. You don't want to be bored. You don't want to be non-bored. Boredom is a ward. The speaker is using the word bored, but it's to get something out of your system. You don't know what you are. The system is added to you. So to get something out of your system, I'm calling you, but you don't know what you are. The minute you think you know what you are, or you know what you're not, there's another aspect of mind coming in to say, I'm in. So the speaker does not try and put on some sort of hypnotic language, some sort of regular attire, regular ways and methods, regular habitual ways to try and dehypnotize you or hypnotize you. The speaker just wants to say, I want you totally bored. I don't want to give you anything that's going to add to your vocabulary of practices and methods and spirituality and religion and whatever. There's no Wim Hof way. There's no Christian way. There's no Buddhist way. That's what the speaker is saying. There is no way outside of your way. Christ gave you words to play around with. Buddha gave you methods to play around with. The Upanishads and Vedantas, they gave you prophecies and utterings in a non-known way to play around with. Hinduism gives you something to play around with. Vishnu gives you something to play around with. But the playing around with it is not keeping it, attaching to it, associating with it, following it. The playing around with it is to say, yeah, okay, I'm playing, I'm juggling. Now I'm bored. You're in. I've had enough. I've had enough of all these practices, these methods, these Christianity. I'm going to go this Ramana Maharshi way, you see. And then you're caught, you see, because the speaker says Ramana Maharshi may be the great way. It was for Ramana Maharshi. Don't deny your beingness. Don't deny your essence. Don't deny your breath, your life, your force for being here. If these words mean something to you, you must go and move on. If these words associate with something, point you in a direction to something, then you must move on. If these words make your mind uneasy, queasy, and is beginning to rattle the cages and get some irritation, some anger, then you must move on. If you are watching this and you're bored, truly bored, truly unveiling what is behind this boredom, then the few that do watch, that do understand, the mind is suspect, the mind is a culprit, the mind is a joker, the mind is a thief, the mind is a liar, the mind tries to tell the truth, the mind is a judge, the mind compares, the mind has preferences, the mind analyzes, the mind measures, the mind believes, the mind hopes. But in the boredom, the truth says, yes, I know about all these things that the mind do, but I also know that the mind dies. And in its death, that unveiling of boredom reveals that what is truly bored. Can you be so bored that the whole universe subsides and you are taken out of it, into it? You find yourself as a void, as a space. You're not experiencing boredom. You are the boredom experiencing yourself. I don't like the word boredom as much as the mind does, because it's the mind that's speaking. But there is something truly, truly liberating for you when you follow your own path. When you look inside yourself, outside yourself, as yourself. When you accept that you have the ability to discover yourself. But I'm not listening to any other confirming minds or pointing minds. I'm not even listening to the speaker's mind, even though he's saying nothing about what I am. I don't even need this speaker, because in my boredom, I can close my laptop, I can close my curtains, I can close my eyes, and I can find through the boredom of not participating, not associating, not attaching, I can find a way out. And in the way out, I say goodbye to boredom and truly see what is beyond that what the mind says is boring. So, the task is, I am here to bore the living pants off you, to reveal a possible death, a possible birth. They're all the same to the mind, pretending that they have different flavors. The mind's a cunning tool. But when it's used appropriately for yourself, to establish yourself within yourself, you will realize yourself and recover yourself to become the self that you're never not. Only you think you are something other than what you're not, or what you are. Bored. Namaste.